Hey guys, welcome back to Ben and Brewing's channel. Today's video we're doing a review of the iGulu F1. This is a countertop brewing system. Now iGulu did send this to us to do a review at no charge. We are allowed to keep the unit, however there's no affiliate link associated with it, and our opinions are our own, and we're going to really run this thing through its paces. Today's unboxing video gets you a first look at it. There is a $100 coupon code linked below if you do decide to purchase it. Let's check it out. Okay, so we are very excited to get our hands on the iGulu F1, which is a countertop brewing system. It got delivered yesterday, and I was super excited when I saw the UPS man pull up and drop it off, so let's take an initial look at it. Oh, it is a big appliance. Let's get into it. Let's unbox it. You know what? I may have to set it back down on the ground and lift it out because it is quite tall. So it has the outside shipping box on it, which is good. There's an inside white box, but I don't see any markings on it. Ooh. We got some parts, a power supply, a tap handle. It looks like a beer mat. I'm gonna put this on the ground and lift it out because it is really big. Oh, cool. All right, so we've got included with our shipment that iGulu sent us. They sent us 3 of their beer kits to try out with the machine itself, and that is kind of what it initially does, is their beer kit. So they sent us a pale ale, a Bavarian wheat, and a amber. So 3 of their ingredient kits to do the, what is it, a 5-liter batch, so it's about 10 bottles of beer when you get done. So let's pull this thing out and take a look at it, because I am excited to see it in the light of day. Oh, wow. That is very cool. Let me get this box out of the way. So there are 3 different colors currently available. There's white, there's black, which is what this one is, and then they have a mint, which I think has a white stripe on the front and then kind of green on the sides. But this is a very nice looking unit here. On the back of it, I'll turn it around for you so you can see it. They have like chrome accents all over this thing. This is your CO2 bottle holder, and it doesn't ship with the CO2 bottles currently, but I believe the SodaStream bottles are compatible, so you can use those for your CO2 for the beer. Not necessary, because it actually comes with an air pump as well, so you don't need to use the CO2. But if you do a beer in there and you're using natural air to push it out and to serve it, it will go bad faster, it will stale. Very cool. All right, top comes off. It's nice, it's insulated, it looks like. One solid piece. And then inside you have your brew bottle. So this is going to be your pressure vessel. So this is what you're going to be fermenting in. It says max 1 gallon, 116 ounces. And it looks like there's a couple different parts inside, but this fits inside of this chamber. And my understanding is it does the full fermentation here. This has a built-in compressor and refrigerator to regulate your fermentation temperatures, and then when it's done, to crash cool it, and then you can actually carbonate and serve from here as well. The other cool thing is if you're not brewing in there, it will fit your mini kegs that you can get from the store. So like the 5-liter little Heineken kegs. It comes with 2 adapters. We'll look at those in a second, that will allow you to actually serve beer from here and sit it on your countertop. And depending on the keg, if you have one of those Heineken liter kegs, those come with a little pressure cartridge inside, so you don't need to use CO2 from this. There are other mini kegs that require CO2, and if you buy the SodaStream or some other compatible tank, you can serve those from here. They also sell these pressure vessels separately, so you can have more than one. So if you do a batch of beer and you want to brew another one, you can just pop this out, put it in the fridge, put an empty one in there, brew another batch, and then you can swap them out if you want to serve it. So kind of neat that they don't take up a ton of room. Put the lid back on here, see what else we've got. It's like a giant espresso maker. That is very cool. Let's look at what else we got. We've got a tap handle, which is extremely heavy. It's like a solid piece of machined metal. That's really nice. And obviously that goes on here. Now it looks like This is a standard tap ferrule, from what I can tell. So you could put any tap handle on here that you wanted to. You don't have to use the one that they provided, but it's nice that they did. This, for serving, has a spring on it. That's interesting. So for those of you that have taps at home, know you can push this faucet down and leave it open, which if you walk away is not a good idea. This actually has a spring on it that will actually keep it closed, so there's no accidentally leaving it open. On the front of this thing, and we'll look at it once we get it plugged in, I believe there's an LCD screen there. I don't know if it's touch screen, to let you know what part of the brewing process you're in, the temperature that you're keeping it, and to adjust other settings as well. There's an app that comes with this, which I downloaded ahead of time, but couldn't access it because you have to pair it with one of these units before it kind of opens up the functionality. So we'll get to play with that today. So I'm excited about that. In the lid of the packaging, this is going to be a power supply, I'm assuming. Yes. Let's see if they sent us. Well, they sent us a power brick, so that's a good sign. Hopefully they've got a... Oh, it's in the bottom. That would be silly. Yep, they got the US two-pronged outlet and the power brick. So that will power this unit. This is kind of neat. This is almost like a beer mat. So kind of a heavy-duty silicone mat, and this goes right there to catch any drips and spills. That is actually really, really heavy. It has some really deep ridges in it, which is nice to catch any drips and stuff before it kind of overflows and goes everywhere. So that's pretty cool. There is an adapter here. And this is, I believe, for one of the different types of kegs that you can use other than the brew vessel that's in there, that pressurized vessel. So depending on what type of mini keg you get, this would work for one type. There should be an adapter, and it might be inside actually. I'll have to look and see. There should be a second adapter to do another type of keg for serving. So we're going to take a quick look and see if there's something else hidden. It may be left it in the box. Maybe I missed it. Let's get this out of the way, and let's see if there's more on the styrofoam. And no. For shipping on this unit, plenty of styrofoam, reinforced sides on the boxes, so there's really no way this thing is going to take damage in shipping. Plenty of space around the outside, and plenty of room. They were able to fit all three of these packets in between the wall of the box and the unit itself. So I want to plug it in and turn it on. So let's do that. Oh, before I forget, and before I turn this thing on, so each of these beer kits, when they ship them to you, they have a little RFID sensor inside, and there's a little logo on the back. So I'm assuming the RFID tag is there. There's an RFID sensor here, and so when you're getting ready to brew, basically, I think you just scan this. It tells the machine what it is you're brewing, and that regulates the temperature and fermentation of whatever you're brewing. So that's pretty cool. Now, you're supposed to be able to, I can't wait to turn this thing on, but I gotta mention this. They're supposed to be able to have a pro level or a master level where you're able to brew your own recipes on here. I did reach out to the company to get more details on it because I haven't seen a whole lot of it other than it being in the instruction manual, which does not come with this, by the way, so stand by for that. And they said they're still working out the details of it, and that will be a kind of a future thing that's coming. But because they just kind of finished their Kickstarter, they're just now starting to send these units out to the supporters of their campaign. They're really working through everything. And as I mentioned before, there was no instruction manual that came with this. I had to go online and download it. And at first I was like, well, that kind of seems silly. Could be because they're still adding features and things to it that they don't want to ship them with a final manual. So you can always download the most up-to-date version with kind of what you need. Let's turn it on. I'm ready. Let's fire this puppy up. I think I ran power over here in anticipation of this. I'm so excited. I'm like sweating. All right. Power brick. I'm going to step around to the front. Hopefully it doesn't mess up our camera setup too much. And at the bottom of the unit on the side here, you've got power. You've got a power switch, and there was an additional plug, and it said in the manual for emergency power. So I don't know if that's to run it off of a battery or to run it maybe off of your car. Maybe it does. It's got a 12-volt DC compressor in it, so it may run off of your car battery if you're out camping and things. All right, so we ran a little bit better power than it was before. So let's take a look at actually starting this thing up. So the power button's on the side of it in the back here. If I can find it. There we go. And it has that ambient light there, which changes colors depending on what stage of the brewing process you're in, so you kind of know where you're at. It has a little LED touch screen here that tells you, I guess that's kind of your settings. If you're not using the mobile app, you can use this to control it, to set temperature, all of that. So that is very, very cool. The other thing I'm curious, and we'll test that in a second, is how loud it is. This has a DC compressor in it to chill down and control fermentation temperature and even drop temps for serving. I wonder how loud that compressor is going to be. So we got it booted up. The screen is a touch screen. You can scroll through different settings, if it'll let me. It looks like there's Bluetooth, looks like there's Wi-Fi on here. There's a couple other parts that came in the bottle, though. Let's take a look at those real quick. Okay, so this is a pressure-capable bottle. So it has a clamp here, and the lid somehow comes off. Does it unscrew? No, but it has a clamp. This reminds me of trying to put a dip tube into a keg. If I release the pressure, it's got a pressure relief valve. It has a main nozzle here, or a input that I'm sure you serve the beer from. That might be pressure in from CO2, if you're going to push it with CO2 or with air. But I don't know how to get this thing off. Good news, I downloaded the directions. So let's see if there's any tips on this. I mean, am I missing something? Like, there's the latch, that's undone. Right? So this is sealed, this is closed, this is open. And then it just kind of spins. I don't want to force it. And it's got a hinge in the back. So clearly this thing is supposed to open, but it doesn't want to open. Do I just unscrew it then maybe? Ah! What did I do? Well, that's weird. It was like a magic trick. All of a sudden, whoa, it's loose. Okay, how did I do that? You know what? I'll worry about that in a second. Okay, let's see if we can get this open. There we go. It is not a screw top. No threads on it at all. Silicone O-ring on the inside that pressure fits against the outside of the bottle there. So, okay. That's good to know. Let's look at the other adapters here. So this is, from what I read, the other adapter for the different types of kegs. So you've got, and I don't know which is which. I got to look further into it. One of these is for one type of the 5-liter kegs. This one is for the other type of 5-liter keg. I believe it would make sense. This is more for the Heineken style that come with the CO2 inside because there's only one out. This almost looks like your typical keg connector where you have liquid out and gas in. So that is going to be my assumption, but I'll have to double check on that. That just seems to make the most sense to me. This is going to be your serving adapter, and I believe it just pops right in the top of that. Yay! And so then this would run out your tap. So you serve from here, gas in from there, pressure relief from there. Okay, that makes sense. And I got it off. Unlike the lid, which fought me. Okay, let's put this back together. Let's put it inside of the iGulu, and let's turn this puppy on and see how loud that compressor is. Wow, so like now it works fine. It drives me nuts. Okay, we're in. Let's put it inside. And then I'm going to come back around the front and we're going to turn it back on. All right, let's see what we got on the menu here. Cooler. It actually has an option. You can select a Heineken keg with it. Tin plate beer keg. Double layer keg. Oh, there's 3 different options for that. Okay. Will it let us do it? I can hear it. So it's set for, I thought I saw 6 degrees Celsius. I'll see if there's a way to change to Fahrenheit. I'm sure there is. It's currently 18 and I can hear it kick on. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let me get around the back so you guys can hear it maybe. So really not any louder than, say, your kegerator at home or even your fridge in your kitchen. It's really not that loud. Ooh, the light changed to green, so it is cooling. Now, you're supposed to be able to cold crash a beer within a couple of hours. Like, it's supposed to be pretty efficient as far as cooling goes. Thank you so much for watching our first look at the iGulu F1. iGulu did send us this unit free of charge for us to do a review on. Now, they're not asking to see the video before we post it, and our opinions are our own. We do not have to send back the unit at the end. We do get to keep it, so we'll run it through its paces and see how it does. Stay tuned for another video coming out where we're actually going to brew on this and test the kits and see how they taste and really how long the fermentation takes. There's a lot of intricacy with this, with the app and all the features that it can do, so it's kind of hard to cover it in an initial unboxing, but we definitely want to go through and run it through its paces and see is it really worth what they're asking for, because this is a premium product that is just launched on the market. So stay tuned. Catch you later, my friends.